September 12, 1997 Street in downtown Los Angeles, California, millions going missing, an FBI manhunt, and a silence code. The biggest heist in U.S. history was a Hollywood-style thriller that unfolded in the gritty heart of Los Angeles. A group of gunmen stormed an armored car company, leaving fear and chaos in their wake. They disappeared into thin air with millions of dollars in cash, leaving behind only a piece of plastic. It all started on what seemed like just another ordinary night. These criminals, however, were not your typical robbers. However, they had no idea that danger was lurking in the shadows, just seconds away. In this video, we will go over the full story of the shocking $8.9 million heist at the Dunbar Armored robbery, which left LA on the edge of its seat. The armored car company was counting and sorting cash to be distributed to ATMs throughout the city. Would the thieves escape with the loot, or would justice be served? They threatened to shoot anyone who dared to resist as they made their way to the cash vault. 5 armed men stormed the building, taking 2 security guards hostage. With millions at stake, the stakes were high and time was running out. The robbers moved like a well-oiled machine, wasting no movement as they loaded millions of dollars onto the truck. But that wasn't enough. The FBI looked into Pace's employment history and discovered that he was at a party with his girlfriend on the night of the robbery. They left behind a trail of destruction, removing the surveillance recorder and stealing the vault manager's pickup truck keys. The employees feared for their lives, but the guards refused to be defeated. They took a chance and called 911. This was no typical heist. The robbers moved with military precision and had insider knowledge of the facility. Detectives from the Los Angeles Police Department, led by seasoned detective John Lott, quickly secured the scene. And there was no hard evidence linking them to the crime. They began their investigation, using clues such as stolen keys and a familiar voice. The investigation took an unexpected turn when forensics revealed that the robbers did not force their way into the facility. Instead, they used a key to fake forced entry, stealing $18.9 million. They also avoided stamps, broke backup VCR locks, and possibly even stole a reflector from the suspect's car. The FBI soon joined the investigation. Examination of crime scene footage led an investigation agent to ask for assistance from the public. There was uncertainty surrounding the release of 5 armed robbers, who were thought to be black, with 1 victim likely Hispanic. The authorities also received a reward tip from an employee. The vault manager identified one of the gunmen's voices as Alan Pace, a recently suspended employee. Witnesses confirmed this, leading investigators to believe Pace wasn't involved, but they lacked concrete evidence. Hill had stored a trunk filled with smaller boxes of cash at his girlfriend's apartment. Hill was linked to Alan Pace through their business partnership in Extreme Entertainment, a suspected money laundering operation. They found suspicious accounting records and discovered that Hill had a second source of income from a company called Rainforest Hill. The only clue they had was that the robbery likely originated from a diesel truck used during the heist. A cracked amber lens found at the crime scene seemed to confirm this. A local homeless man claimed to have seen a mid-sized rental truck idling near the armored car facility on the night of the robbery. This description matched the vehicle in question. Authorities contacted rental truck companies to examine their records. In the 2 months surrounding the heist, neither Alan Pace nor his girlfriend rented any trucks. Months passed with little progress. However, the reward for information leading to a conviction was now set at $250,000. Detectives also discovered that Eugene Hill had rented the truck used in the robbery. Was it from gambling winnings or from the heist? Hill confessed to the robbery, revealing that Alan Pace had been the mastermind behind the heist. Hill also named the other members of the gang. But Pace, the mastermind, was still on the run. The rest of the gang didn't fare any better. He contacted authorities and arranged to turn himself in on February 28, 2000. As the investigation progressed, the authorities found more connections that pointed toward Eugene Hill. The authorities used this opportunity to question Johnson's girlfriend, who provided valuable information. The 6th gunman, Eric Boyd, fought the charges and was sentenced to 17 years after a grueling 3-week trial. Shortly before the robbery, a witness told detectives that he had been at a nearby gun range with Emil Macha Sereno, a former co-worker. If any attempt is made to recover the hidden money, those involved will go straight back to jail. Sereno had previously expressed an interest in robbing an armored car. The informant revealed that Serino had recently purchased a lot of weapons and ammunition, making him a new suspect. The FBI seized the gang's assets but could only recover about $5 million of the stolen money. The rest remains missing, leaving everyone wondering if it was spent or hidden away. As the investigation shifted, FBI agents began monitoring Serino's activities. However, the case took a tragic turn on February 28, 1997, when Serino and an accomplice engaged in a shootout with police officers while attempting to rob a bank in North Hollywood. The shootout lasted over 40 minutes, resulting in Serino's death and injuries to several police officers and civilians. In the aftermath, investigators recovered evidence linking Serino to the 1996 armored car robbery, including a notebook with detailed plans for the crime. While the investigation never led to arrests or convictions, the shootout brought a dramatic end to the case and provided some closure for the victims and law enforcement officials. An informant revealed that he had been given $100,000 in cash by Eugene Hill to buy a home. One box contained cash bundled by bank wrappers from the heist. The IRS was called in to investigate. Another man, Thomas Johnson, had invested $2 million in the business, which appeared to be a traditional money laundering scheme. Despite strong circumstantial evidence against Hill and the others, there was no direct proof of their involvement in the $18.9 million heist. The vehicle was located, and forensic analysis of the amber lens found at the crime scene linked the truck to Hill. 2 years after the robbery, the LAPD received a tip about a domestic disturbance at Thomas Johnson's residence. She revealed that Johnson and his gambling partner had used gambling chips to launder money in Las Vegas. Despite growing circumstantial evidence, investigators were still left wondering about the source of Johnson's newfound fortune. Eventually, investigators arrested Eugene Hill after gathering enough circumstantial evidence. In a dramatic twist, the authorities arrested Thomas Johnson, who confirmed Pace's role as the leader. Pace arrived at the LA Federal Building with his lawyer, refusing to cooperate with investigators. 4 members pled guilty and received sentences of up to 10 years. As for Pace, he received the longest sentence of them all, 24 years in prison. The case is an untold story of a daring heist, and though the criminals are now behind bars, the FBI continues to watch. If you enjoy watching our content, hit like and subscribe the channel now. It helps us reach more audience.